My lords, ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome back to Transport Fever 2 and our Deluxe DLC series. Today we start off hovering above the ever-growing city of Nashville. In our last episode, we managed to get a supply of bricks into this city. They are now being brought in and meeting that small demand. And admittedly it is a very small demand. I think it's 8 per year. So as it stands right now, the delivery train is quite intermittent, but that's okay, I'm not too concerned by that. If you also remember last time out, we did unlock the Hiawatha and the Zephyr locomotives, and we can see one of each at the station right now. And some of you may have noticed there was something I forgot to do to enable the full potential of those new locomotives. Basically, they were running on the old style standard tracks, which of course have a speed limit of 75 miles per hour. That means both of those trains, which have top speeds or top potential speeds in excess of 100 miles an hour, weren't able to fully utilise that. So between the previous episode and this one, I have gone through and upgraded those passenger lines to the high speed tracks, so they can now exceed that soft limit of 75 miles per hour. Whether or not they're able to reach their maximum speed, I haven't tested that yet. I imagine the Zephyr probably will, purely because it's travelling a far greater distance with fewer stops. However, the Hiawatha, it is a stopping service as we know it, calls at Rockford, Green Bay, Carrollton and Nashville. So the chances of that one ever reaching its top speed are a little bit limited. Both of the trains don't have the best acceleration, but even if they are not getting their top speed, as long as they're exceeding 75 miles per hour, then of course we've made them that little bit more efficient. What I've also done between the episodes is upgraded our trucking fleet. If you remember, we also unlocked a new series of trucks. I think they were the Opel Blitzers, possibly. And we were using the Ford 77s, I think. They've now all been upgraded to the newer trucks. They have a far superior top speed, and their cargo carry capacity is much higher as well. So let's bring up the UI so we can get started today. As we mentioned, we are in Nashville. And one of the first things I'd like to achieve today is bringing in some goods into Nashville. If we just zoom out so we can look at the city information card, we can see right here we do need, and again it's only a small supply, but we do need a supply of goods in Nashville. We are already producing goods not too far away, and we spotted that factory last time out, and here it is, nestled between Athens and Clearwater, and this is receiving all of the raw goods that it needs to produce the final product. So all we have to do is activate another one of these platforms here. We have 2 spare at the moment. We can see these 2 are currently in use, one bringing in the steel and another one which is loading goods for onward consumption. So what we're going to do is come out one of these 2 new platforms, as I mentioned, and then just connect into our existing freight network, possibly down here. I know this is a passenger line, but we do branch off and we can come down here. This is a freight line, and this will take us into the city of Nashville. So very little new infrastructure will be required for this. One thing about having the new trucks, we can see, because they carry a higher capacity, a lot of our lines now have too many vehicles and we're getting these queues forming at these stations. We'll tend to that a little bit later. It's not the end of the world, but it is something obviously we would want to go through and tidy up at some point, but for now it's not urgent. So let's get back to the task in hand, and that is, like I said, getting a system from this platform here that runs out to the passenger line down here, where they'll have to briefly share with our express main line up to Knoxville before heading off down here and heading into the city of what train is that? That is another mainline train. That's one of, in fact, that is the Zephyr. So yes, we will have to share some tracks down here, unfortunately. But we do have a freight line here. This is, well, we have freight and passenger down here. So we know that this is freight, and we could tell that by looking at the trains that are currently running down here. They are freight trains. So if we can get into this line, then that will work even better for us. And I think the best way is if we have a brand new tunnel, or we could immediately snap parallel and extend our existing tunnel here through this mountainside under the bridge. We can dissect through Clearwater and Clearwater Farm, coming down here, and then come into our line somewhere down here, and that will greatly limit the amount of interaction our freight and passenger services have to contend with. So let's do something like that. So we can come parallel nicely. We don't need catenary at this point, so we won't activate that. And if we have a line, let's get both lines coming out, because at some point we might need both platforms. And we'll just put a diamond crossover just before the station, if we can get it in. Maybe not there because it's on a bit of a corner, clearly. Maybe we'll do it down here somewhere where it's a little bit straighter. It's going to be a slow crossing point, but that's not too much of a problem. And then let's bring both of these lines out down this way to, I'm going to say, around about there. And let's of course parallel track it, so we have plenty of options available. There we go. So a very wide tunnel here, is it 6246? Yep, a 6-lane tunnel. And then rather than curving around this way and following the existing network down there, let's have it come straight off like this. Not only does this mean we're going a separate direction, which is what we want to do, we want to come down here, it also means we're not making this bridge foot pillar support column, whatever you want to call it, have too wide of a gap, because if we ran a line down there, okay, it's not moved it there, but when we put the second track in, we'd have an overlong gap here, and it just wouldn't look the best, basically. So instead we'll come down this way, and we'll run this down here. Now we are going to have to go through that farmer's field right there, so it's going to cost us a fair bit to remove that, but we have 7 billion in the bank. I don't think we're too concerned by that, so we'll pay whatever we need to pay there. And where are we wanting to connect in? I'd say we'll connect in after where the junction links into everything. Not the junction, sorry, the depot, the junction for the depot, that's what I meant to say. And we'll come down, and maybe by these signals, or between these two sets of signals right here, is where we'll look to have these two lines join together. And let's just pull that back to about there, and then see if we can't get a decent looking crossing right here. And if we can get good speed on this, then even better, and we can get up to about 70 miles per hour, which is more than good enough for me. How does a crossover look? It doesn't look, oh no, is it dropping off? It is dropping off a bit. Let's see if we can just maybe take the worst of that away by just fine tuning this here, although now it's just being weird. Let's bring it down, maybe about there. How does that look? I think that will have to do. It doesn't look too bad. It's I've seen far worse anyway, and it looks relatively smooth. And then of course what we'll do is connect the two parallel tracks together like that. We might have to just potentially move these signals around a little bit, because if we had a train waiting here, as we can see right now, that would definitely block access to this junction for anything wanting to go up this way and come down this way. So let's remove said signals, put some new signals in place, and we'll use the 3 head aspect signals for this, and these will be one way. So we want one there, we also need one there, and we'll go ahead and put one there as well. So that controls the 3 approaches into the junction. What we'll do then is what we usually do, is have some clearing signals set a little short. We already have a setup there, but we may put another one in as well, just to make this block as short as possible so the trains can clear it as quickly as possible. And then for the rest of this journey, we're just going to put a couple of blocks down. Now, we only need 8 units of goods per year in Nashville as it stands, so we don't need to have a whole host of trains coming down here. So if our blocks are fairly spaced out, it shouldn't be too much of a problem. And we'll have a we'll not put one before the tunnel, but we will have a set of dwarf signals inside the tunnel, and we may as well give all the other lines some staggered blocks. Not that way, that's not right, and I bet it's going to be awkward trying to delete it. Oh no, we can get to it. Yeah, we'll put some staggered block signals for the other lines as well. That's all fine. What do we have here? Well, let's upgrade these while we're in the area to the lamplight signals. They are a bit close to the tracks to the right, but I'm sure that's fine. And then we of course want a signal there, and we'll use a 2-aspect signal for this. And again, let's just upgrade those ones to the modern variant as well while we're in the area. Okay, so now I do believe we are ready to set up the line itself. So we will be coming from the Clearwater Goods Factory. We'll retain this colour because it's fairly similar to the colour of the commodity that we're going to be transporting. And we're going to come down here, and hopefully it will route itself correctly without much intervention. And where's Nashville? I've lost it. Here it is. And we want you to come into there. They are sharing platforms here, as we can see, the bricks and the goods. However, we don't have too many trains running down here on either service, so that isn't too much of an issue. However, we are sharing with the passenger service right here, as we can see, and I think we want to avoid that if we can. So what we're going to do is, in between Clearwater Goods Factory and Nashville, we're going to send them down this direction. Whoops, it needs to be there. And then after Nashville, send them back down this direction. Okay, it's saying that they cannot connect all stations, so let's see where the problem lies. I thought we could get access down here on, where is it, on this service. Oh no, I've got myself all sorts of confused here. Let's just, oh, here we are. So if you come down here, come this, oh, I see. Okay, right then, so what we need to do is, let me think about this. We want them coming down here. Let's just remove those 2 waypoints. So we want you to come down this way. So we know you can get as far, it says you can't get to that signal. Let's just remove Upper Nashville. So you can get to there. And merge in here, share this line down here. Okay folks, sorry about a weird transition here between, yeah, a little cut just there. The reason is my little one is in hospital at the moment. Nothing too serious, don't worry. She's had a bit of a nasty fall at school yesterday and just needs a little bit of surgery on her lip. So that's where she is at the moment. So obviously the wife was just ringing me to give me an update. But yeah, everybody's fine. She's all fine. So I can't put my phone on silent, which is what I would normally do when recording. So if there's future weird cuts and you can hear a phone going off in the background, that's why. So yeah, anyway, enough about that. Let's crack on. So we were trying to find a way into Nashville, weren't we? So we know we can get down here. We can get to this signal here as well, so that's fine. Oh, I chose the wrong signal there. That should be that signal, shouldn't it? There we go. Let's come on. There we go. So you can get there, then there. And how do you want to get from this line into Nashville? Well, where does this fellow go? Okay, you don't go into Nashville. You're coming down here. You're the food pickup line, okay? You come through here, and again, you also don't head into Nashville either. So what we need to do, I mean, we could share this line here and have a crossover point at this point between the tunnel and where these tracks come together. So that way we're limiting the amount of a shared track as much as we possibly can. And I think that is possibly the best way to do this. We might have to redo some of these signals in and around this tunnel area, but that's not too much of a problem. Okay, so let's try this then. So if we have a line that crosses over like this, and let's get as high a speed as possible, shall we? 75 would be great. Okay, we got, no, it's 56 back there, but that's fine. And double that up so it comes over here as well, like that. Now let's think about how we want to have these signals positioned. Let's just remove all of them that we have at the moment, including those ones there. Now ideally we want our passenger service. Oh no, we can't really set a priority here. Right, so let's just do that and that. Let's have a dwarf signal back here for the passenger service. So this makes it one long block for our passenger line. And we'll put... Why is that on that side of the track? Oh, because I'm doing the wrong way. So have I done that the wrong way? No, that's fine. That's fine, I think, yeah. No, that is the incorrect way, and that means our train's got to, yeah, we can see there that we forced our passenger train onto the freight line there, so that was my bad. Yeah, let's have a signal there. A dwarf signal for the passenger service set way back here, which should encourage our freight trains to be the one that stop if two are approaching the block at the same time. Let's have a clearing signal there and there. And then down here we want a clearing signal before the tunnel as well. Okay, so I think this should now work. So I think if we now select that signal there, yep, you can now go all the way into Nashville. And you can't get back. Well, why is that? Have I put some signals the wrong way? Let's see. So up on Nashville. Well, first of all, we need to get our passenger train back on this set of tracks here, which, in fact, we'll do that in a few moments. Let's get this up and running first. So let's come on, as far as there. What's happening here? Why are you? Yep, you're there. That's right. That's where you need to be. I can see you right there. So are you going the way we expect? Yep, you're sharing here. So this is all being shared. However, we don't want you coming this way down. Let's have you come this way down. You can get there. I don't know why you're saying you can't. Is it because of the platform assignment? I bet it is, you know. Right, so yeah, you can get there. You can get to Nashville. Yeah, apologies for all of this. I'm sure you can understand why perhaps I'm a little bit preoccupied today. Anyway, let's carry on. You can surely get to there. Well, let's get rid of that signal. In fact, let's just start again. This is ridiculous. I'm all over the shop here. So, Clearwater Goods Factory, Platform 1. Come down that way. Yes, you can do... We should be able to do that. Do we have a double slip switch here? Maybe not. Maybe that's the issue. Let's convert these to double slip switches. In fact, let's just convert them all to double slip switches, shall we? Hopefully nothing else has routed itself down there. No, it's not. So, we know that you can come down here. Add station. Let's add that as a waypoint there. Yes, that's fine, that's fine, that's fine. So now you're as far as here. You come through here. Then we want you to hop over here. Head into Nashville. And heading back. Yep, that's all correct. You're heading back the correct way down here. Down the way you came in. And then you are heading back up there using the double slip switch. Brilliant. Okay, let's just leave that for now, and let's head to the Nashville to Carrollton service and revert this back to the correct track. So, as you leave Nashville, what signal is that? Okay, so if you're on that signal, what we want you to do next is come down this way. Yep, and then on your way back to Nashville after Green Bay, we want you to come in that way. There we go, so they're now set back to their appropriate tracks. We've got the PRR 5921DGLE unlocked, as we can see. PRR 5922 Tuscan. Anything else? Reversed variant of that train. Anything else? Yep, another Tuscan. That's all the Tuscans. Another one, for good measure. Anything else? No. Okay. Now we can go back to quote-unquote line 1 and properly name it. So we're going to be RC, and this is goods, and we're coming from Clearwater to NSVL, Nashville. So at Clearwater, you want a full load. Take as long as you need to get that full load. Load the goods. Head into Nashville. I'd prefer you to go onto platform number 2 at Nashville. Why can't you get back? Why can't you get in, rather? Do we need a crossover point from the freight line over to here? I'm guessing we do. So let's give them one of those, and we want to put it as close to the station as we can, really. So let's do it here, if we can get it over. No. Okay, you can get over there. That's a one-way signal. It's got to be. What about if we do this? Now you can get over. Yep. Yeah, that's fine. And then coming back out, you're using that one again. Let's have you instead come down via this signal here. There we go, and that just frees this passenger line up as much as we possibly can. They have to share for this stretch, as we know. That's fine. And then from here, this is where the passenger line heads off one direction. Our freight line continues down here, and yet we're heading back up this way into the Clearwater goods factory, and yep, onto the correct platform. Well, that was far more difficult than it really needed to be, but we got there in the end, which is the main thing. So now we need to get our trains down there. So let's switch that to a two-way signal, switch that to one-way signal. So they will have to go to Nashville initially, because they can't just stop and reverse down here, but that's fine. It'll give the platform or the industry here time to generate some goods for collection. So new service. Let's have a look. So these were the the locos we just unlocked. That doesn't look too bad actually for what we want. It's not got a lot of power, but this is not going to be a big train, this. So, and they're all the same. Yep, they're all identical. Let's go for the DGLE. And shall we have a forward and a reverse one on this, just to do something a little bit different? Why not? And we want the boxcar. They handle goods. We don't need many. We might go for 5, and then another loco. Back to here, and yes, have this the NW2 reverse like that. I think one train will be enough. 8 million, decent performance. Let's buy that, and let's put you on the Clearwater to Nashville line. You can find a way there. That's brilliant. And there we go. We should now, in the not too distant future, start seeing this factory designate some goods for onward delivery into Nashville. Where are you, Nashville? Where are you? There you are. So nothing yet. It will take a little while for it to pick up, of course, which is absolutely fine. So in theory then, that's all 4 goods to Nashville now taken care of. Obviously, like I said, the bricks, it's a bit slow on the old bricks front, and I might do what we did with that train there and just modify this one and use a forward and reverse engine, and this time we'll go for the Tuscan like that. Okay, yep, that's fine. So yeah, your output is pretty slow at the moment because of course you're only shipping 8 per year. I think what we'll do is just manage this line, manage the line, and just have you load if available, I think. And then we'll do the same, I think, yeah, we will, because otherwise we're going to have the same problem at Clearwater. Where's the goods factory? Here you are. We'll do the same for this line as well, Clearwater to Nashville. Manage the line and just take a load if available. So do we have any waiting yet? No, we don't. As it stands right now, they're all being assigned to Carrollton, which is fine. Maybe we need to go through and sell some of these trucks as well, I think, because as we can see, they're just waiting an absolute eternity for the plastic. So I think for now what I'll do is maybe just sell every other truck that is currently in the queue like this. So we'll still have a queue, but it's obviously going to be half of the size. So you, and then we'll sell the trailing truck like that. So a small queue still developing there, but we're not stretching all the way onto the road, which is obviously a big improvement. I think we'll probably, oh my word, we definitely want to do the same down here. Look at this. This is quite ridiculous. So what I might do is sell 2 and then miss 1. And again, that's just to keep the traffic as minimal as possible, especially because, as we can see here, we do have private transport coming down here as well, and we don't really want to be making a nuisance of ourselves where we can avoid it. So again, selling 2 trucks, skipping the 3rd one, and that's just a blunt force traffic management right there. But it will save us a little bit of money on the old maintenance costs, of course, because we're not having nearly as many trucks deployed on the line. Okay, how's that? So you're still waiting. And that's only because there's not really a big demand at this factory at the moment, so that's what's causing the hold up here. That's fine, it is what it is. There's not much we can do about that yet, aside from, of course, have this construction materials plant feed into a couple of other cities. The other options, the other cities we could start supplying are Clearwater, but we have absolutely no infrastructure in Clearwater at this time. West Jordan, Peoria and Murrieta, although these 3 will likely be served by this construction materials plant right here. We could come down to Green Bay, but it would require quite a big network expansion. We are doing Nashville. Fort Lauderdale, again, is an option, but like before, we just don't have any infrastructure down in Fort Lauderdale at the moment. So in time, this will start to kick up production because we will start supplying perhaps Fort Lauderdale and Green Bay, but for the time being, and Clearwater. But for the time being, we're just going to have to live with the fact that the production output here is going to be very, very minimal. Shouldn't be too much of an issue. Do we have any other queuing trucks? We have a few down here, so I think we'll maybe just sell every other truck here, like so. And again, just to cut down on the amount of trucks we have waiting. What about our existing trucking lines up here? These don't look like they're doing too bad. They're handling it pretty well. Anything up here? Again, it doesn't look to a bit of a queue here, but nothing too dramatic, and I think we're going to be okay. We do have a queue forming over here though, so let's do the same thing here. This is our steel pickup line, and we're just going to do what we've done previously and sell every other truck that happens to be in the queue at the moment. and maybe go back through and sell every other truck again, like this. Whoops, didn't mean to turn it around. There we go. And then we'll just keep an eye on those lines as time progresses. We'll leave that one for the time being, I think. All the others look to be pretty okay. Do we have any trucking lines up here? I don't think that we do. We have one, and oh yes, we have a huge queue forming here. So what we're going to do is sell every 2 trucks and skip the 3rd. And again, it's just going to cut down on wastage. Because, yeah, obviously when these lines were set up, the trucks were slower. They had a inferior capacity. And whilst one upon a time we needed this many trucks, now that we have more high capacity, more efficient, high speed trucks, we just clearly don't need quite as many as we did. And I think that will do, that'll be fine. Okay, let's head back down here then. And is there anything else we'd like to get done today? Well, Nashville, well, it's not sorted, you know, we could look to make improvements. The amount of food coming in, I'd like that to be in the 100s. But 96 isn't too bad. Oh, there we go. Thank you very much, game. Fuel is pretty good. It is just the goods and the bricks that are causing us not a slowdown as such. That's the mainline service. What? Are you our diesel? Yes, you are. And yeah, you're the one what's just left the depot and is heading into Nashville to then return over to the Clearwater Goods factory. Do we have anything waiting for you yet? We have a couple. How many? Exactly a couple. We have 2. Well, it's better than nothing. Could we do anything to increase production here? We could maybe improve our train consists here to make them perhaps a little bit longer. Let's see. So at the minute, these carry 156. Could we bump that to maybe 200? Let's go to the cargo. Yeah, if we had another 4, it's still... well, it's a bit limited there, isn't it? Maybe a new... What engine are you running there? Is that the Atlantic? I believe it is. Well, what about if we swap out for the Mikado? Is it the Atlantic you're running? Yes, it is. Yeah, maybe we'll upgrade these to the Mikado and increase the consist length to 204 total capacity. And that should help get a little bit more oil through a little bit faster. Let's just send you to the front. Clearly didn't get rid of the other locomotive. A new tram, the PCC 1643 Pittsburgh. We could maybe upgrade our current and only tram system to use the new trams. But we'll do that after we've sorted these trains out. 204, there we go. 20 million for that. So yeah, that's should have a positive effect on the amount of refined oil that we have coming into here. So we don't have one with a full load yet, of course, because we've you'll be, where are you? Yeah, you'll be the one that gets the first full load. We do have plenty waiting on the platform, 610 units, so the supply at the oil well isn't a problem at all. Yes, so the tram system, then it's this one, isn't it, between Fort Lauderdale and Nashville. Let's just do a comparison between the trams that we currently have, and we'll just do one like this. So we're using the P to wit, so this is higher speed, as we can see, 28 miles per hour. Bit more power, well, quite a lot more power, and the actual capacity is a little higher as well by 1. Emissions are much the same. This one does have more weight, but of course we've got higher tractive effort and power to compensate, and for the financial cost isn't really a factor. So let's replace all with the Pittsburgh and have a quick look at those as they head down into the city of Nashville. Very nice. Okay, I think that's where we're going to have to end it for today, with any cuts and the likes that I may have had to make due to the phone going off. This may be a bit shorter than usual, but as I explained, I'm sure you can appreciate why that is. Thankfully, it should only be an issue for today. today. Hopefully we'll be back to normal tomorrow, and we can return to a bit more of a standard style episode, shall we say. So let's take a ride on our diesel train. It's not just left stage, we're jumping on halfway through its route. Oh, we also need to pause the date progression, of course, so let's make sure we do that. Yeah, we are halfway through our journey, but that's not a problem. We'll head up to Clearwater, and that'll be our cab ride outro for today. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. As always, a very special thank you to my supporters on Patreon. Any comments left on the previous episode I've not yet had time to pick up, just because of what's been happening off camera, if you will, so you'll have to bear with me on that front. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, all that remains for me to say is, as always, take very good care of yourselves, enjoy the cab ride, it's ta-ta for now.